Hey everyone, welcome to hashtag Paranormal. Thank you guys for choosing to spend your Friday night with us. Tonight we have the girls from 3C Paranormal out in California on the show. We have Denise, and I'll bring her card up. We have Denise DiMattai, and we also have Selma Hunga. Talked to the girls a little bit there a second ago. Seem like really nice people. They've been a lot of places, and I'm going to go ahead and bring them on now, and we'll get this thing started.
Hi. Greetings.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Hopefully the lag's gone now.
Well, you know, I've been called worse.
Now, guys, you. Yeah. Now, tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Should I start?
Well, I developed my interest in the paranormal as a child when we moved to a very small gold rush town called Dutch Flat, which is just off of Interstate 80 between Sacramento, California, and Reno, Nevada. And there wasn't a whole lot to do there, so we entertained ourselves by playing in the cemetery, which, as you can see, I still do. And by just exploring the old buildings that are there, because
I'll just wait until you're done.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. All of the buildings there at the time that I was growing up were the original buildings from the Gold Rush area. The trading post that is still there today was the original trading post back then. There was a hotel that was in non-operation during the time I was growing up there. It is now. They've refurbished it a little bit. There was a hearse house, which was just a building that housed a horse-drawn hearse. And there was an old schoolhouse that was 2 stories high, and all of those were reportedly haunted. And those are the stories that my friends and I grew up hearing. And so we would play paranormal investigator. At the time, we didn't know what it was called. We just said, let's see if we can find all the ghosts. And then after high school, I moved to Colfax, which is just down the hill a little bit. And the house that I lived in there, I would hear murmurs every once in a while. I would smell perfume when I was there. And at one point, there was only 2 of us in the house, and we both heard and we thought one of our friends had come in, and we went and looked, and there was nobody there. And then even growing up in Dutch Flat, I would hear and sense things. I would just sense that somebody was watching us. And my friends never got that feeling. But then as I got older and started having my family, I kind of put the paranormal stuff on the back burner until I met Denise.
Yes, I do that to people. I have that effect.
Okay. I'll be gone now.
Okay, it's your turn. Yes, I have over 25 years of paranormal experience. I actually got involved in the paranormal. I was always on the fence about it, but I purchased a house that ended up being very active. It happened to be the same town that Selma grew up in, Dutch Flat, but she was long gone, and we met each other much later, a couple of decades later. I have, like I said, I've had over 25 years experience. I have specialized in gold rush hauntings. That's always appealed to me and Selma. And we have gone to many, many places, as you can see from what we gave you, all along the 49er Gold Rush Trail. We do love Virginia City because it has that Gold Rush vibe, and it's literally one of the most active places I've ever been. We always catch something whenever we go there. And as a matter of fact, we have secured the
Washoe Club.
Thank you. The Washoe Club overnight the first weekend of May this year. So
Boy.
we are seeing if any other groups want to come with us. We have a few availabilities in there, few spots. We can only have so many people. But we do we try to debunk things first, as you should, but we are somehow drawn to the whole gold rush vibe. And as a matter of fact, what you had flashed up earlier is we impersonate at certain gold rush events. I'm Lola Montez, and she's Lotta Crabtree, who were very famous entertainers in the mid 1800s. So I think that all ties in with us, and that's Selma's up there.
Yeah, and Lola and Lotta actually were from the Grass Valley area, which is about a half hour from us.
Yes.
So that kind of,
yes, and
yeah.
Lola mentored Lotta. Lola was quite the
Scandalous lady.
she was a very scandalous lady, which is quite fitting for me at this point. She had many lovers, and she did her own thing. Let's face it. She was a well-known entertainer. She wasn't as good with her money as Lotta, but when Lotta was a small child, she moved a couple doors down in Grass Valley from Lola. So she taught Lotta how to dance and be an entertainer, and Lotta ended up being
the richest female entertainer in the country in that time period.
Yes, very famous. She was the nation's darling, and Lola was the nation's mistress, I think. So we have fun doing that.
I'd say there was probably a lot of that went on.
Oh God, yeah. You know, what else was there to do?
Yeah.
I mean, women didn't have a lot of choices. They ran boarding houses.
Absolutely, yeah.
They
had a choice.
Yeah.
I just said no.
Okay, good. I didn't know you're that old.
So how did you guys actually come together as a team?
Well, we worked together. We were actually government employees. We will not say where we worked, but we actually had very responsible jobs. We were actually we were in the same unit. So we'd either become really good friends or mortal enemies, and we did not choose violence. So here we are. We're friends still. And she knew I knew that she liked, she kind of dabbled in it, but she knew I had the group, the 3C Paranormal. And I took her on a few investigations with me. And just last year, she started pretty much full time, and she's now the lead investigator. So she's turned into a fabulous investigator and a fun cohort. We have a great time, as you can tell. We get along really well, and that's really imperative.
I can tell. Yeah,
we're goofballs, but we take what we do very seriously.
Yeah, you guys flow together pretty good. You've got a good little thing going there.
We flow. Some of our
so where was the first place? Where's the first place you guys investigated together?
Together,
the Carey House. As 3C Paranormal, that would be the Carey House in Placerville, California.
It's been on a number of paranormal shows. And it's extremely haunted. And we've had our experiences there. Selma caught a fabulous EVP upstairs, women screaming. No one reacted to it. Then there was old time 20s music playing. It was weird, and no one else woke up. It was about 2:30 in the morning, but okay, how come no one's reacting to this? Someone looks, sounds like they're being skinned alive, and no one's waking up.
Right. No dogs. There was dogs staying in the hotel that night.
No barking. Yeah. So we found that everything that we found about the Carey House has been on the main floor and the second floor, most of the activity. Well, we decided for some strange reason to go to the fourth floor, and that's when all hell broke loose. So we have kind of added something to the page of the Carey House. In fact, we're going to stay in that one room we heard all the activity out of, the screaming, the jazz music. And it wasn't smooth jazz. It was old time. It was what? Dee, 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 dee. Yeah, little soft shoe. Old timey music. So yeah, that's going to be a central focus. We would like to have a group there, and have maybe everybody get the entire 4th floor. Everybody bring their equipment. We can investigate it because that is uncharted territory.
Yes.
Everybody sticks to the lower floor where people have been known to die, but what has happened on the 4th floor? We want to find out.
And it was actually built after the rest of the hotel. It was added on later on. So what did happen up there?
I think it's residual. I felt that it was residual because no one else heard it, or so. I mean, it's kind of like we were the only 2 ones that were meant to hear it, and we did catch it on audio.
Yeah.
We don't have it because we didn't give it to you because it's really long.
It's long.
And there's an unfortunate fart or two, and
an F-bomb.
Many F-bombs. So we just didn't know how your audience. And there's always, I have a theory that every investigation, at least one person in the team farts, whether they admit it or not.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying. And that's why you get your flare out.
We actually, yeah. We had a phantom farter in our group once upon a time. He would just kind of let it go, and then you walked into it. Yeah.
With your mouth open. It's like, oh man,
kinda,
give a sister a head out here.
Yeah.
Have you tried to catch him on your flare?
Now.
Well, we have.
No, I've seen people do that though. Yeah, I've seen the little warm mists kind of go behind them.
See, we've been trying to. I just got it for, Christmas. Santa brought it to me, and we've been trying to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we haven't been successful, but by God, we're going to do it someday. For science.
It'll happen. It will happen.
It will happen, and we'll record it, and we'll share.
Yeah, when you guys,
girls, we are.
Yeah, I think the more cold it is outside, the better you are to catch it.
Okay. We need to maybe go outside.
Go play in the snow.
It was too warm. It was too warm inside.
Now you guys are an all-girl team, right?
We are all girl team. It wasn't that we dislike men.
I thought so.
At all. We love men, and we have investigated with men.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a problem, but as far as running a team and organizing, there's a lot of things that go along with it. Being on podcasts, doing special events, which we do. Sometimes, I'm not saying all men do this, but sometimes some men try to kind of take over the situation.
Take charge.
Take charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I've had numerous and sundry boyfriends through the years. I've done this, and they always want to tell me what to do. And bless their hearts, I got this. I really got this. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I've never really wanted to take any of my loved ones, male, with me, because it would not go well. There would be arguments.
Sorry.
Her cat is doing weird things in the house. There's a ghost cat. Thank you.
You guys being just a female team, I would think that would actually get you guys more activity, because a lot of times it seems like if men are in a place,
a lot of times
because it kind of go ahead there. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. A lot of times the people that have passed are men, and especially from that time period, they didn't exactly appreciate women. They didn't care for them except for, servicing them, basically.
Mm-hmm.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. And so
they didn't like strong women.
Yes.
I've had, but however, the women from that time period, I get my hair literally stroked all the time. On this last investigation last weekend in Sutter Creek, I always have just a nice little, it's always like around this white streak. Interesting. They're probably going, what the heck is that? But I always get nice touches, and I know I feel that it's a very strong women's presence. And we don't provoke at all, shockingly.
No.
We're very nice and kind, and we try to be understanding, especially with the angry male types, because you can tell them they, you know, all of a sudden your back hurts or you feel something poking you. Like, okay, minor Mo, what are you doing? I know you don't like us in here, but I'm sorry. You know, we can vote now and own property, by the way. I know it's hard to believe, but yeah.
Yeah, I would think that you guys would probably get a whole lot more child spirits as well coming up to you, because they see a lady and they see more of a mother figure.
Yeah, well, but yeah, she's a lady. Thank you for calling us ladies. And you called us girls too earlier, and I wanted to tell you we really appreciate it. But I have so much luck with like a ball. The ball, you know, a rubber ball. Just the ball trick, you know, see if it go, you know, have it stationary, and you're comfortable with it being stationary. It's not going to move. And then all of a sudden it starts to move. You know, you ask questions. Will you please move the ball? We do have a Boo Bear. I'm kind of on the fence about that. Sometimes it works. Sometimes I don't know. It just goes off, and I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
But the ball, and also with some of the women, like the prostitutes, we know there's a prostitute died, like in room 11 in the Silver Queen in Virginia City. I brought one of my real sexy outfits, like a little bustier and some really nice jewelry, and said, if you want it, you can't have it, but you can play with it. You know, these are here. And we think maybe left her some wine and to see if anything happens. So we try to have, like you said, use trigger objects. So I think we, you know, the women like us, the kids like us, the men are on the fence, you know, but I think we have that female energy.
I think the men like us, just not our mouths.
Well, that's just in general, you know.
We get a little mouthy.
Now, have you guys as a team, have you run into anything that's really, really scary yet together?
Scary?
Not scary.
No.
The time that I was like, we were alarmed. We were in a church that we weren't technically supposed to be in, but they told us where we could probably find the key that was hidden in the front. So prop the door open just a little bit in case we need to get out. And all of a sudden we heard this slam, and I went, oh crap. Someone caught us, or we're in here. So we ran, you know, like a cartoon character. We ran at the back, ran in the front to see if there's anybody there, you know, like do. Oh, look, there's someone in there. But that's the only time we've really been scared together, because we thought it was a human. Yeah. We're not scared of the dead. We're scared of the living. Right. Basically. That we're not, nothing bothers us anymore in life. Yeah.
If something seems scary, we're more likely to
run. That's kind of the way with my team. When we go out the people are way more dangerous than the dead. I mean, it's sad, but it's true.
Yeah, it's very true. I always keep a little pepper spray with me.
I have an alarm.
Yeah.
And that was one of the questions I was going to ask you guys, because being an all-girl team, I mean, I was going to ask how you guys protected yourselves when you go into some of these places, because you're there in the dark. I mean, there's usually no one around but you. And sometimes it gets sketchy.
Oh, yeah. You know, sketchy could be good or sketchy could be bad. But we always stick together. We don't put one in the closet and lock them in and run around. You know, plus, it's just no fun that way. We like to stick together. We work together so well. And like I said, she's got an alarm. I've got my pepper spray. And all you have to do is outrun the third person with you. So we're good.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys, when you go on an investigation, do you rely more on your equipment or do you use your intuition?
Intuition.
We have equipment. We don't have a ton of the real high-end fancy equipment. Our best catches are with sometimes our stinking cell phones. I mean, I hate to say it. I want to, oh, look at all
Because
this.
everybody always says, "Oh, don't say all you need is a
Yeah.
cell phone," but it has the camera. You can do video, you can do still pictures, you can do
Yeah.
audio recordings,
And we
that's-
feel, we feel when
Mhm.
something's happening. We just start, doing our thing, asking questions. And the easiest thing we have on us is we have all the equipment, but grabbing your phone is so much, if you're in a really quick environment that you need to catch something, whip out your phone.
Yeah, like the EVPs we've gotten have been on the phone.
Mhm.
The
Yeah,
pictures.
Yeah, I'm on the fence about, we've got an Ovilus and it's got that dictionary, but we've had uneven results. But we do an event, or we have people that coming
Mhm.
that learn how
Yeah.
to, be a paranormal investigator. You want to have the gadgets. You have EMF, you got the FLIR, you got all this stuff.
The millimeter
Yeah.
is good.
I do like
for-
the millimeter,
yes, yeah, for doing the baseline before the investigation.
and have somebody like, okay, tell us when things are fluctuating, what's going on, keeps them busy, something to do.
Oh, I meant for us.
Oh,
I'm
well,
impressed before the investigation.
oh yeah,
doing
so
the
we could
baseline.
do a baseline, but when we
Yeah.
have a big group and we're kind of, this
Yeah.
is how you investigate.
Right.
We're doing a tour that we let people use the equipment and kind of teach them how to do it. And okay, tell us if the Ovilus is saying something, if you're getting any readings on the millimeter. But the SLS, it's pretty interesting though. We caught some things. Winchester Mystery House, we caught a little boy there in Gold Hill in Virginia City when the Yellow Jacket mine collapsed. All these 30-something miners died. And I caught SLS of all these stick figures crawling over each other at the base of the mine. And that was very emotional. I felt it wasn't an active haunt, but it was a residual, like they're all reliving it. And it was like, oh my God, this is horrible.
And then at Hotel Azure in McCallum Hill,
Yes.
California, they have what's called the hanging tree out back. And that's where they
Mhm.
would hang the bad guys back in the day, and took the SLS out and caught what looked like a man kind of jerking around, and
And the
his
neck
head
was down.
was over like that.
And that used to be the
hanging
county
tree.
seat.
Yeah.
So
The
that the
Colony Hill.
courthouse was right there. You go in the back and they still have the hanging tree. So their justice was really swift.
Yeah.
So they moved the county
Yeah,
seat,
yeah.
but they still have, and the underground jail
Jail.
cells are still there, which is really creepy. Super creepy. I love it.
Now, you guys sent me some photos.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this. Where's this at, and what exactly happened there?
Okay, that was Piper's Opera House, which is in Virginia City. Yes, that's the close-up. We caught that in the daylight in Mr. Piper's office. We were just in there taking pictures. We had gone to the stage, and it's a very, very well-known theater there. And it's like just a block from the Washoe Club. And we know the person who runs all the tours. So she just got us in there, and it was just happenstance. And we blew that up and we said, look, it looks like an arm up to at least here. Like there's the forefinger and the thumb trying to pick up something, and perhaps like a frilly shirt of some sort. So that was a great catch. And we've sent it to a number of people, and people actually know what they're doing. And they reviewed it and they said that is a great catch. So
Yeah.
And that's just happenstance. That was with my phone.
Yeah, if you look at it, you can actually see the fingertips.
Yes, the finger and the thumb. It's longer, like a regular hand. I mean, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was during
Now,
our Virginia City trip, and it always pays off. That place is amazing.
what do you guys think's the most active location that you've ever investigated?
Virginia
City.
City.
Yeah. We're going back there in May all night, Washoe Club. It's like one of the holy grail places for paranormal investigators. So we're going to be in there all night, which is awesome. I'm so excited. And that's where we caught the Get Out the double get out.
Mm-hmm.
So we probably pissed them off. They're probably pissed off because
And I
everybody goes
actually
in.
have that.
You do. Get out.
And I'll play that clip. Let me find it really quick. We'll put that on the screen.
Get out. When your cars, give it to the tour guide, dude. When we leave, just for snacks. Selma's recording. At first, you can hear it very faintly at the beginning. It sounds almost mechanical. A guy going, get out. Then right after that, the woman saying, get out. And then I start chattering away.
Like she does.
Yeah.
You probably haven't noticed though.
Part of my charm. Get out. Yeah, you just did the dude again.
Yeah.
Get out. Get out. When your cars, give it to the tour guide, dude. When we leave.
You can definitely tell it's a man because it's more of a deep at the beginning.
Get out.
Yeah, like a guttural
Get
get out.
And
Yeah.
then she's just
And
she's just
Mhm.
done with us.
and I actually sent it to somebody
Yeah.
that's very experienced, that's on one of the major paranormal shows, and said, hey, what do you think of this? And he was like, that is class A.
So we were real happy.
Very happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's plain as day. Both voices are plain as day.
Yes.
Yeah. And there was nobody else.
There. No.
Nobody. It was just the
Then
two
I
of
started
us.
talking. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, it was just the two of us there, and we didn't hear it
No.
while we were in there. It wasn't until a couple of days later, reviewing evidence and looking at pictures and listening to video, and I heard that, and I'm like, no way. And I played again, and it's like, oh my God. And I sent it to Denise, and I was just like, hey, take a listen. And she was like, oh my God, it says get out. And I'm like, I know.
Twice. And yeah, and I played it in my car stereo, and it was, surround sound. And I went, oh my God, that's great.
Yeah.
It was just amplified. And I
Yeah.
went, and obviously we did not react to it. We didn't hear it, or we would have noted, like, okay,
Right.
someone's screwing around telling us to get out,
Exactly.
someone's going to get out, and I would have laughed and told them to get out. So yeah, we did not hear that. We were just talking about going down and talking to the
Tour guide.
yeah. So we are very happy with that.
Now, was there anything else going on in the room when that happened? Was there any other kind of evidence going on?
No,
No.
it was just random.
No, nothing.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, is I was videoing just to look at later to see if we happened to catch anything, like, the hand
Orb,
that she caught.
yeah, doesn't need
Orbs, whatever.
We do random
Um,
stuff. You never know.
Yeah. And there was nothing else going on.
And that's the best part of it, when you catch stuff by happenstance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a tour
Yeah.
in December, a private tour at Winchester Mystery House. It was just the two of us and our tour guide. Well, she found out we were paranormal investigators. So she goes, I normally don't, I don't do this with a group, but she started telling us of all of her experiences. And she goes, there's a little boy that holds my hand. And so I started, I turned the SLS on. We caught, and it's on our Facebook page and on our TikTok. Caught an SLS of a little boy in the fireplace. Thank you. An empty fireplace. And we were talking to him, and he was there for quite a while. So we felt we made some sort of contact. And the tour guide said, you guys have got to get an overnight here. So we, at some point, we're going to arrange with a couple other groups that want to do this, because it's not cheap. So we get an all-nighter, all of us there, and you're going to catch something there. That place is nuts.
Yeah.
It feels like it. You go in there and you just feel it. You feel like you're being watched.
Yeah,
which
that's
is great. Like at the Washoe Club. You're being watched.
Yeah.
well,
I
I
was
mean, Sarah,
Yes.
she was convinced that the place was full of all. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone that had been killed with one of their guns, she was convinced they were there, that they were drawn to that place.
They were after
So
her, and that's why she bailed.
That's one of to confuse them.
Yeah. And that just, for me, that adds to the
That's
creepiness.
one of my bucket list
Creepiness.
places.
Oh, well,
Oh,
when we are looking into doing an overnight there, we'll let you guys know if you want to be part of it with us. We could probably do an amazing investigation.
Absolutely.
It's nuts. I mean, you
Yeah,
just
now-
walk in the grounds and you feel it.
You guys were in there. Yeah. Did where it's got all the weird building inside of there. Did you guys experience any vertigo or anything while you were in there?
vertigo.
I felt a little off, but that could be many reasons. No,
She
I
was a little off.
yeah, you're going up and down the stairs, and then it goes to doorways to nowhere, and it goes to real small, and you're like, wait a minute, this was bigger. There's a lot of things that will mess up with your equilibrium.
Yeah, the floors aren't always level.
Yeah, it's wacky. And then she took us down
Mhm.
into the basement, where the creeper guy
Oh yeah, way down the
with a
hall.
wheelbarrow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was. I'd like to be in there go down there and do some EVP sessions.
Yeah.
I didn't catch anything while we were there, but I would like to spend some time because I felt like there was somebody really annoyed with us.
that we were there.
Yeah. And we're trying to walk down the hall, and in the basement, it's really, there's a lot of machinery, the way they had it. And there's an old elevator, and it's nuts. I mean, it's just, you can just feel the history. She had the seance room, and it's still there.
Mhm.
And you open, I firmly believe that when you conduct seances, we don't dwell
We
in a
don't,
Ouija
no.
boards or anything like that, but you will open up portals, and you're inviting people in. Unless you know how to close the doors, or deal with what you're asking, inviting in, you might have some problems.
And many people think they know, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they really
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's why we just don't. We
Mhm.
don't even go there.
Yeah, I know. Stick with what we know. I just don't want to deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I don't mess with the Ouija board. I have, but I don't mess with them at all anymore. It's just there's too much of a risk there. I had a close friend that when we were young, he had a Ouija board in his home. And being kids, we had it out playing with it. And a couple nights later, he walked into the kitchen and saw what she thought was his oldest son standing there. And turns out probably 20 minutes later, the door opens up and he walks in. So he wasn't there. The other brother was asleep. So they're pretty sure they opened up some kind of a doorway. They were actually in their living room one day and heard something going on in their bedroom. And they walked in there, and one of the mattresses was drug off the bed and kind of laying in the floor. And to this day, as far as I know, there's still activity going on in that house.
Yeah.
And there hadn't been.
And they think it's all from a Ouija board.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Opened up something.
No, there was no previous activity until they brought in the Ouija board. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
Yeah.
we don't mess.
And that's why I won't mess with one. I just, yeah.
And you don't, like you said, you don't know.
Now, have you guys had any kind of experiences that have kind of challenged? Well, yeah, you don't know.
And we always tell them, you can't come home with us when we do an investigation. You're not allowed to follow us or anybody else home.
Yeah.
You can stay here, but you're not allowed to do that. We don't want hitchhikers.
Yeah. And that's very similar to what we do. When we first go in on an investigation, we knock 3 times and announce who we are. And then when we leave, we repeat the same thing. We knock 3 times. We tell them that we're going home. They're not allowed to follow us, that they have to stay there. And a lot of times we'll sage ourselves actually in the parking lot before we even leave, just to be on the safe side.
I've got liquid sage, which is great. And we'll do that. I've
Holy
got holy water combined with white angelica in a spray bottle that we'll do. We cleanse and then protect. We do that. But we've never felt anything has attached itself to us at all. And we just tell them they're not allowed. And, we always, visually enclose ourselves with white, silver, gold, the protective bubble. You're not allowed to harm us
Mm-hmm.
or anybody else in the party.
And we're always very respectful when we first go in. We tell them who we are. We thank them for letting us be there. We tell them we mean them no harm. We just want to communicate with them. And then when we leave, we always thank them for allowing us to have been there.
Exactly.
And that's something else that I talk about on here a lot. Most of those spirits were at one time people. So, I mean, if you go in and you treat them like people, you're nice to them, you're going to get a whole lot better results rather than you go in screaming, trying to provoke them. And
I don't understand that at all.
Yeah.
It's a whole different experience.
Yeah. I mean, how would
I don't either.
If somebody came into your house and started provoking you,
you kick their ass out, or you'd be like, leave.
Exactly.
You do everything possible to get them to leave. That's not a good way. And it's really bad.
Yeah.
It's not a good way to elicit anything that you want to find out.
Right.
And we tell people that want to be paranormal investigators, and we do events for people. We would say, think of the dead as the living.
They're dead.
They're dead. They've got all the different personalities.
Right.
Like all your friends, they got different personalities. This person's loud. This person isn't really pleasant. You just have to think about them that way and deal with them accordingly. And it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
And it takes the scariness out of it for people. Like, they're just dead people.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't know they're dead.
Yeah. Exactly. Some of them are still trapped in their death state. They don't even know they're dead. They don't even know what's going on yet.
Right.
And some of them they need a little help. Like, you can leave. You're in charge here. You can leave anytime you want to. I don't know why you're stuck here. If you're looking for your child or your husband, they're not here anymore. They're gone. They're waiting for you. So go ahead and leave. You've got the power, which is nice if you think that you help move somebody on.
Yeah.
That's very rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Now, have you guys ran across anything investigating that's kind of challenged your beliefs yet?
No, not at all. Actually, my beliefs, I was always on the fence about the afterlife. I thought there were ghosts, but I wasn't sure. I never experienced it until I had purchased a haunted home. That changed. I mean, that changed my belief system. But I'm always open to other things. We don't know really what happens when you're dead. We don't know what's out there. That's what's so fascinating. All of us who are into this, we want to know what happens. Where do you go? Why some people stay? Why some people go? Why is there residual? Why is there active hauntings? Why are some objects haunted? I mean, there's so many questions.
And I had always believed in it because my mom believed in it. And she would tell me, a couple of stories of just odd things that had happened to her. So I always...
And you played in the cemetery.
And I played in the cemetery. And I did hear things in the house that we lived in. And I remember the attic in the house that we lived in. I would go up to the attic. I would never go to the left when I got upstairs. I would go to the right, and I would go over there and play around and do whatever. But I would never go to the other side of the stairs. To this day, I don't know why. It was just something.
You had a feeling.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I've always believed in it, and I've always sought it out. It's like I want to see this. I want to hear this and find out what's really going on.
And once you start getting into it, you can't go back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a expensive hobby, and we're moderately obsessed with it. We love doing it. I mean, it's something
I think more than
we look forward to being on podcasts. We look forward to investigations. We look forward to events. It's just the whole paranormal thing. It's fascinating, and frankly, you meet a lot of nice people in it.
Yeah, really cool people.
Yeah, and that's a really nice byproduct as well.
Yeah. It's kind of its own culture. I mean, it's one of the few fields that people consider you crazy if they don't understand it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's fine. I'm used to it. Oh, you chase ghosts. Isn't that cute? Yeah, it's fascinating. It's amazing if you could be in my shoes, but you won't.
Yeah.
You know, people will mock you and they, oh, isn't that interesting? I don't know.
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
fascinating.
very-
We learn. The great thing is we love the history of this area.
Yeah.
That's why we're so, you know, the gold rush hauntings. There's so many things we learn about the history of this area, how it was settled. You know, the great gold rush, what was going on in the country. It's fascinating. I love that part of it too.
And we always, before we go somewhere to do an investigation, we research.
The bejesus out of it.
Yeah. You know, what happened in this town? What happened in this hotel? You know, when did it come to be? And
Who died here? Who lived? I mean,
right. How did they die?
and it helps us in our investigation.
Right. And that's why we do that.
Yeah. We're smarter than we look.
I know.
You know, it's amazing. It's amazing how rich in history some of these places are when you go in to do your research.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. Some of the things that have actually happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And you know,
Well-
you guys were talking about the gold rush places.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, people gave up everything to go
Yes.
and run the gold rush trail.
Mm-hmm.
So
life was cheap too. I mean, there were so many murders, and it was just
Right.
at times it was so volatile, which is normal because when there's money involved, people kind of lose their mind.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you got your gold, you had your earnings. Someone would whack you over the head with a shovel, take all your gold.
And
I
your
mean-
woman.
Oh yeah, and your women. And
Yeah.
there weren't a lot of women out there. So we really tread very carefully, you know, with when we find there's a woman who's passed or murdered or suicide, you know, what drove you to this? We're so sorry this happened. Why are you still here? You know, you can leave. We know times were different back then. We really try to have a really gentle approach. And the women are just, I just feel sometimes, I think you agree that there's a lot of sorrow we feel when we're dealing with some of the women spirits that we encounter. You just feel this sadness. A lot of these men that died unexpectedly, sometimes there's a lot of anger, but the women, there's
Sadness.
just this really oppressive sadness. And it's heartbreaking. We have to let it go and get back on our, you know, do our thing. But yeah. I mean, hopefully
I would imagine those women, they were probably mistreated and abused and just,
oh yeah.
it was a
It
poor way to live at the time because the
It was
men
mainly
back
men
then,
out
they
there.
were,
Rough and tumble. There were a lot of minors.
yeah.
In the beginning, when they brought women out there, it's either women that ran like boarding houses or there were prostitutes and bordellos. So you didn't have, you know, you don't hear about too many women who were mining.
Mhm.
Women were kind of relegated to these two professions pretty much. So they didn't have a lot of rights.
Mhm.
Couldn't own property in their own name. They'd have to have a man they knew, you know, someone they related to. Either it's a father or a brother or their husband could own property, but not them. And it was really a tough. They're expected to have, you know, have all the babies and do this and that, and the men did their own thing. It was a hard scrabble life, pretty much, and it's tough. And you hear about some of these stories, and it kind of really breaks your heart. So we tread very carefully.
Now, if you got, have you guys experienced anything in any of those places that you would consider like otherworldly or demonic?
Demonic. One time I was trying to clear a building. This is about 10 to 15 years ago, a business. They were having actually poltergeist activity, but I think it was caused by and I got punched in the stomach. But I think I wouldn't use the D word. I just said it was some angry little shit. I called it a shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it the D word because that gives it power and they love that. That's the only time I was a little bit frightened. But we since we've been really doing investigating together, no. It's just that there may be someone angry. There's angry because of whatever, their claim or the way they died, or they felt they were not treated fairly. And it's been men.
Yeah,
So
the
far.
closest for me that came to that, and it wasn't even the D word, but it was at the Carey house after we heard the scream and the jazz music. I went to the top of the stairs and I wanted to walk down the hallway.
Oh, that's right.
But I got to the door where the music was coming from, and I really, really tried to make myself go down that hallway, and I just couldn't. Something just kept nagging at me saying, if you go down there, nothing's going to be the same.
It was like a parallel universe. It was weird.
It was
Everything
really
was
weird.
topsy-turvy. And I was joking around with her later, Selma, like I was going to have to tie a rope around her like in Poltergeist. And like, okay, Carol Ann, go into the TV, then I'm going to pull your ass back. like, all right, I'll just stay here with a rope.
Yeah. So I didn't go down
Yeah,
the
you gotta
hallway,
trust your gut.
which is not like me, because
Oh, yeah.
you know, I'm no F's given, and I usually will just go. If there's a door, I'm going to open it and see what's on the other
We
side.
both felt off.
Yeah.
But yeah, we both fell off, and it's like, no, I can't go down there because my life will never be the same. Whatever that meant.
Well, it hasn't. But
Yeah.
That's another thing. So yeah, we really. I
Well,
mean,
that goes
you-
back to trusting your intuition.
Yes.
Don't do stupid things. Well, we do that.
Well, we do, but not when our gut tells us not to.
Yeah, if we're feeling like there might be some
Danger
something hinky or
or
whatever,
something
let's not go down there.
Sketchy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super sketch. Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, we normally
See,
have the
that's-
we're going to catch.
so it's been my experience. I haven't really ran across anything I would consider demonic either. I've run into some things that I would consider a person that was a butthole in life,
Yes,
but I haven't run across anything I would really consider demonic.
Right.
a butthole. I like that. We're going to have to start calling ghosts buttholes when
Yeah.
they're
If you're,
angry.
if you're a butthole in life, you're a
Butthole when you're
Yeah.
dead. There lies a butthole.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, we need to put that on that tombstone behind you.
They wouldn't call me a butthole. They'd call me something else.
Yeah.
You wouldn't shut up.
Now, if you guys could go anywhere in the world and investigate, where do you think it would be?
Oh, anywhere in the world?
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere in maybe Scotland and some of those castles. I would love to investigate in some of those crazy castles. I might be actually a little bit scared because that's
Yeah.
really old.
Yeah.
That's super old. Out here we say it's old, it's a couple hundred years old, but they got
They've
a lot on us. And
Yeah.
that some of that stuff is some of those, they've got elementals there. They've got all sorts of stuff, which is fascinating to me.
Mhm.
So it'd be nice if we could swing it someday, do a tour there, Great Britain, hit London and go up to Scotland and check that out. But
And
we
for
went,
for some reason, I thought of Ireland. I don't know.
well, we can jump across the pond
I don't
and go
know.
to Ireland too.
I don't know why, but that
Ooh.
came to mind.
Yeah, that would be,
But the castles fascinate me.
yeah.
I
But-
would love to get into some of those castles.
Well, in the States, we're talking about hopefully maybe next year or so going to Tombstone and going there. Hit Jerome, hit Tombstone. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we dressed up, we'd get a little more action,
Oh, you bet you we would.
Yeah.
And we know somebody that would help us out.
Yeah. We've got a friend of theirs who
Yeah.
he's an impersonator. He's does the OK Corral stuff, and he's one of the actors there. So we could probably get into a lot of trouble there. It would be fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
Arizona's got a lot too.
Yeah, that tombstone, that would be a really fun investigation.
Yeah.
But in the States, I would really love Louisiana.
The Myrtles. Oh, the
And-
Myrtles
yes.
plantation would be fun.
Yes.
Waverly.
The Myrtles, yeah.
Savannah, Georgia.
Oh God, everything's there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's so many places. I mean, and we do want to do maybe next year, maybe this year at Queen Mary.
Mhm.
Haven't done that. maybe hop over to Catalina afterwards. Catalina's got a lot of, a lot of hauntings there in the big round casino area. So yeah, we've got a lot of fun. It's just trying to fit it in with the rest of our lives.
Yeah. Our lives and our budgets.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why we stick with a lot of stuff.
Local.
We can local, number one, we love it, and we can do it in a weekend. So it's really easy for us.
That's the way with me. I try to do a lot of stuff that's local just because of the cost of getting in places. And I mean, the time constraints, because in the wintertime, I have to work a lot because I do snow removal. And so I don't really get, so I don't get a lot of time in the winter that I can really plan anything, because if it starts snowing, we have to pack up and go. Right. So it's just now it's starting to get back into season for me to actually be able to get out and do things. So I've got a lot planned this year, and I want to try to get into some places here in Kentucky that I haven't been. What kind of upcoming investigations do you guys have going on?
Next month.
Well, Washoe in May.
Washoe in May.
Next month we have a historical ghost tour investigation in Sutter Creek in conjunction with Scott Harvey Winery. I think it's sold out.
Yeah, we sold out our first one in a week. The second one, I believe it's sold out or almost sold out. So
yeah,
there's an interest there.
Yeah, so we just people buy the tickets, they get some wine tasting, and then we do an investigation in the tasting room, different areas of the tasting room. We take them to a couple of different buildings on Main Street there in Sutter Creek, and then we wind up again at the winery. So they get wine, they get spooks, they get us. They get some history. We give the history of the buildings that we visit, and
it's a fun night. I mean, so we've got some other things, things down the line. We're trying to figure out our summer, what events we're gonna have ourselves, we're gonna host, and investigations we want to do. So we are.
I was just going to say, but speaking of the historical tour, this is a Scott Harvey wine right here. It's called Tickle Me Pink, and it's the official wine of 3C Paranormal.
It's delightful. It's nice being, having a sponsor as a winery.
Yeah.
And they're wonderful to us.
Yes, they are. That's where we do our tours from.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we just wanted to give them a shout out.
Yes, they're very nice to us. And if any, you and your group, if you want to come out and do the West Coast, you got to let us know, and we will have a good time, catch some spooks, and have a lot of content, believe me.
See, I really, really want to get out there and do the Queen Mary. That's one that's been up there for me ever since the first time I laid eyes on that boat. Something's just kind of drawing me to it, and I'm going to get out there soon.
Everybody, it's legendary. Everybody catches stuff. There's the little girl in the pool area. There's one of the guys who died in the front bulkhead. There's just a lot of different paranormal activity that's been caught, and there's been a lot of groups have gone in there and caught things, and you just get that great eerie fun feeling. So we would, oh my gosh, we'd love to do it. Let us know when you want to do it.
There's been so much. Oh, it's going to be within the next year.
Okay, we're down.
Yeah, we are definitely down because it's on our.
But there's there's so much evidence has come off that thing.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it. I would love to. The little girl.
It seems like everyone. Yeah.
Catches something.
It seems like every group that's been on that boat catches something. Yeah, it's just it's unreal.
Yeah, I'm really drawn to the little
guys. What? Yeah. What would be your dream piece of equipment if you could only have one?
only have one?
Other than like our cell phone, because that's
Only
easy
have
to use.
one. Yeah.
SLS would be fun. I'm gonna get a look up. SLS would be fun.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree because like
Other than the cell phone, the SLS.
yeah, because the Ovilus, it has a dictionary. That's why I question it. And we haven't, like you said,
Yeah.
gotten real steady responses out of it. Whereas the SLS, if you have the settings just right, you can point it at an area and it won't map.
Make sure it's
And
like
like-
there's nothing there, and they're like, okay.
Yeah, and then you know, all of a sudden you get a perfect stick figure. It's like, okay,
And you
come
ask
on.
them to wave at you, and they're
And
waving
they're-
like,
yeah,
holy crap.
Yeah.
yeah. So I think I would have to.
It's
agree
fun.
with you.
It's
Yeah.
exciting. It kind of gets your like, oh my God, he's waving at us. I
Yeah.
think he likes me. Maybe he likes you. I don't know.
You know, we're not saying that
Yeah.
it is
100%.
right. We're just saying, hey, that's really interesting that there was nothing there and now there is.
It's a fun tool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still working on the fart gun. You know,
Well, yeah.
that's close to our heart. Trying to get her cat when Selma's got a couple of cats, so I was practicing on her cat. Like, I thought you said your cats fart.
No,
Like,
no, they don't. I feed them good food. They very rarely do.
well, you
I can their food for you.
know, tried it on each other. Wait a minute. Okay, nothing. Okay, try it
Grab
again.
the fart gun.
See,
Yep.
I'm a cat ball.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I'm a
We
cat
have
ball
no-
person.
We haven't had
Yeah.
any
Those
luck with those.
things, I mean, when really, I've had more luck with those than I have just about any piece of equipment I own.
Really.
Well,
We
we've only-
started using them like
Yeah.
the past month or so, but
Yeah, so we're not going to give up on them. We'll keep using them, but so far we haven't.
Yeah.
The only maybe was at Hotel Azure when
oh yeah, we had
When
a
it-
cat on the table. Or,
it, on the dresser and it
That's
fell
right.
off. But we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
what it
you
was.
never know. And then we did our historical paranormal tour. We took them upstairs in the old brothel, and this guy thought he was going to be funny, and he touched it, and he goes, "Oh my God, it's going off!" And I went, "Oh!" And he goes, "Oh, I was just kidding." Like, you son of a bitch.
That was me.
Oh, like, oh,
You're
that's
such a tease.
that's really great. That you're gonna. I was all excited. Look, it's something communicating with us. And he's like, "Oh, I touched it." You prick.
What about a REM pod?
Do you
But
have
guys,
one?
we are coming up on an hour. Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
have anything you want to close out with?
No, it's just been really a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a
Talking
lot
to
of
you.
fun.
Enjoy talking to you. I love
Absolutely.
meeting
Absolutely.
paranormal peeps. Let us know when you want us to be on again.
Yeah,
too,
we would
me-
love it. We would love it. And, you know, our Facebook is 3C Paranormal Investigations, just like it is there on the screen.
Yes.
So check out all of the stuff we
There's
have
a
on
link
there.
Yeah, there's a link to TikTok on our
Yeah.
our
Nice.
site. And we put all of our events on there, our shenanigans. So
Yeah.
just a couple girls looking for ghosts.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
guys,
wine.
get on there and give them a follow, guys. They're fun to be around.
Thank you.
Thank
This has
you.
been an awesome show. I thank you guys for being on.
Oh, thank you.
I've
for
had a lot
having
of fun tonight.
Awesome. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, we're here for your entertainment.
Yeah.
Have a great evening,
Once
everybody.
again,
out
thank
there.
you guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Toodles.
Ta-ta.
And you too have a good night and have a good weekend.
We
You
shall.
too.
Good night.
Good night.
Guys at home, if you're out there watching, give these girls a follow. I've had an amazing time with them tonight. They're a pretty good group. They're all female. I'm sure they have some good comment out there, and just find them. You've watched the show. You saw they're fun. And if you're experiencing anything, if you're at home and you're experiencing anything, don't let it keep on going. Reach out to someone, try to get yourself some help. the paranormal, everyone understands that's in this field that people think it's so taboo that they're going to be called crazy. And there's people like us out there that we don't think you're crazy. We just want to help. So guys, if you're out there watching and you need help, reach out to someone. And thank all of you guys for spending the night with us here at #paranormal. You guys have a good weekend and good night.